that's actually much thinner than that green. And that's okay because I can put dark value around it. I don't mind the leaf, but the stem has to be kind of thinner like that, right? Or I think it does, because stems are not that chunky generally. Sometimes I look at trees and I go, my gosh, that's just a big stem. You know, the big, huge trunks. That's just a stem of a plant. Isn't it amazing that we have them? We have plants that big on this planet. They're gorgeous. You know, if I wanted to save this blue, I could. I see a place where I could put, you know, these things don't seem terribly important, but they really kind of are. Because then that continues the blue over to that side. I could even put a little bit here. Even though it doesn't read necessarily as blue, your eye probably tells you that that is blue. Or at least blue-green. Because it's on top of that kind of tan color.
Okay, and then what you're saying here is that you're going to fill in with dark around that.
I probably will. I'm sort of thinking I want it to be interesting enough. You know, over here I've got a bud going here, and I had to throw a little bit of an idea of a poppy in. Just because I like that color. And even this one. I mean, some begonias with the right light up begonias, some peonies with the right color on them sort of go in that direction. So I'm always kind of painting a little and then finding edges that I'm interested in. Like there's no resist here, and I like that because it's sort of a soft edge. I think all paintings, and the one you bought I think last summer has some soft edges, has some crisp edges. That's another way to make a focal point as a painter, is crisp edges. So if you're doing a portrait, you don't do everything equally developed. You just do the where you want people to look right in the expression on a face. You know, let the hair be a little bit more gestural. Nikolai Fechin did that incredibly well. There are a lot of painters who do it well, actually. And I think it's easier. And I've done Indian dancers I really like. They're very gestural. But I mean, it has to be the right subject matter almost for me to do gestural. Sometimes I'll treat the silk with something called no flow.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Did I? Okay. I don't know that I have any here right now. I don't think so. But it's a jar, just of clear stuff, and I can paint a ground color on a piece of silk, and then put this no flow stuff on it, and it dries and it acts like a sheet of watercolor paint, so that I can put beautiful little brush strokes, or an Indian dancer, or a gestural sort of floral. So it's kind of a fun. I've done lots of little birds that way, little birds on a limb, and then splattered it with white acrylic ink to get a feeling of snow. You know, a bird that's all puffed up in the winter, how they get kind of. I mean,
now you didn't do the parrot that way on no flow.
No. That one I could have. That would have. But I think when I started that one, I thought, you know, the brilliant color on this parrot really matters, and so I couldn't do a ground color because that would alter the color I put on top.
Yes.
Kind of like watercolor. I mean, watercolor, I should tell you about this piece. So this was all mostly white with a few trees and a little bit of foliage, right? Well, it was under this window. Big storm last week, big storm. Major water came in that window because, long story, the window was left open. In fact, the rain came all the way, from there all the way to here. I know because I didn't put those splatters there. But boy, it did a number on a lot of paintings, and that's one of them it did. But however, okay, so I just have to take a different approach now. So now I have a ground color in the water.
Oh.
Because all that bled, all the dye bled on that in the water.
Into the
lake. Into the lake, exactly. But is that okay? Sure. Because it's just time of day. With the right kind of treatment, I can bring that back. And you know, sometimes the things that happen are fortuitous because you go, okay, how do I solve that problem?
Yeah.
I could just walk away and say, oh, it's ruined, what am I ever going to do? You know. Or I could go, well, all right, this was obviously meant to go in a different direction than I had planned. And actually that can happen without a storm too.
Yes.
You know, you go, whoops, that leaked, that white peony is now, blue. Is there such a thing as a blue peony? No, but
Make it a hydrangea.
there you go. You know, and I can go in and really what I know is, I mean, those birch trees are essentially light colored bark, but from here, what I see is shadow and light, not too different a value than what's on there right now. You see, Marlene? They're sort of a grayish, rosy-ish, I mean, they're not white. They're not white, and especially not this time of day.
No.
Not this time of day. So, you know, it's okay. It's okay. I can make it work, I hope.
I
can.
It really
And if I
does.
don't, I will have learned something anyway. If I'm it, you know, that, oh, okay, if I do this and that, then this will happen. You know, what's going to happen when I put cyan blue or cerulean blue over that yellow? I know that it'll kind of go slightly greenish, which is okay maybe because the mountains are slightly greenish. Although out there they look distinctly blue against the yellow-green of the foreground, to me. I mean, if I squint down, they almost look violet to me. And I do that a lot, I squint down a lot. If mountains are this close, they're this color. Sometimes the ones over this direction look deep navy blue. I mean,
Yeah.
and you go, how could that be? Those are green trees on those mountains. Why does it look navy?
It has to do with the atmosphere.
It sure does. I mean, right now, yeah, they look navy blue to me.
Yes.
With a little bit of violet in them,
Yeah,
too.
you can see in the meadows look violet.
Yes, exactly.